It was me, and we had 11 beds, and it was a revolving door of men. And I taught these guys recovery. I taught them to stay sober. I taught them to work on themselves. And the whole time, I was still getting better and completing my recovery work myself. I look back at those years, and although I was still cutting down trees every day, I was living with 11 men that were newly sober that looked to me as their leader, and all the responsibility that came with that, and them banging on my door late at night when they need something, and probably one of the most inconvenient situations you could imagine. And I was still working really hard. But I look back and I see that as one of the best years of my life. I loved it so much. I went on to move out of that sober house and start a second one. About that time, I started to meet some contacts in the addiction treatment business and industry. I went to my very first conference, which was the Cape Cod Symposium of Addictive Disorders. And I walked around that and I looked at the trade show and all the exhibits and the booths and the people, and I saw that this could be a great opportunity and that this business was much larger than my little sober house. And I had no idea, but I was so inspired. I went back and talked to my dad because I was still working with him in his tree business, helping him run things. And I said, Dad, I got to go and focus on this other business. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I went all in on it. I started and I built that into, for a long time, what it was a 63-bed, 3-phase program called the Granite House. And I took 18 to 30-year-old young men who are in addiction or alcoholism, and I taught them how to change their life and transform as human beings. And they were with me for anywhere between 9 and 18 months.